All right. Well, good morning, everyone. I am Samantha Matlin. I am the Director of Evaluation and Community Impact here at the Scattergood Foundation. I also have an appointment at Yale at the Consultation Center, which is our collaborating partner for consultation and technical assistance. I'm joined here today by the Program Manager for RISE, who is Ami. Say hi, Ami. Again, we will be recording this session and posting it on our new website, which is going live next week. So that way, if anyone misses it or if you had any further questions, you'll also be able to watch this. We will also be posting the Q&A portion of the meeting so that if people have any questions, we can make sure to post those for others. All right, so welcome again on this really lovely day. At least it's warmer, but obviously quite rainy. So hopefully everyone has had time to dry off. So today what we'll be doing is we'll be going over an overview of RISE for those of you who haven't had a chance to hear more about it. Then we'll really cover what the RISE implementation component includes, which is the focus of today's meeting. We'll talk a little bit about the fit for programs and organizations and why you may or may not find yourself to be a good fit, and talk about the time commitment for participating. We'll then talk about the implementation application and the timeline for selection. And then we'll go over some already questions and answers that we've had. So we'll go ahead and share those with the group, and then we'll open it up to everyone on the call for any questions. So if everyone at this point could please mute their computers and their speakers so that we don't hear feedback on this end since we are recording it. All right, so in the overview of the RISE initiative, really the RISE partnership focuses on data and evaluation to improve organizational effectiveness, and we're really aiming to impact the social, economic, health, and educational conditions in our communities. So the reason why we're doing this is because we want to make sure that we're all being as effective as we possibly can. So we have some significant challenges in our community, but we also have really great. Again, if everyone could please mute their line, and if you're on the phone calling in, please mute yourself as well. So we are really looking to use data to promote a culture of learning and improvement throughout an organization. So we're thinking about all of the elements of designing and picking and implementing a program. So that includes program design and planning, implementation, measuring program outcomes, and really thinking about how do we continuously improve what we're doing. So this whole initiative is about learning. It's not about evaluating your work to say whether it's good or bad, but it's really to say how do we improve what we're doing. So how do we know who we're helping and in what way and how much? Those are the kind of questions that we're seeking to answer. So the RISE partnership works to strengthen the effectiveness of nonprofit organizations, really focusing on Greater Philadelphia and Southern New Jersey, really focusing on Camden through training and support to build readiness. So that's for organizations to improve their readiness for measuring and driving program outcomes. For implementation, that's our more intensive 2-year program, which focuses on internal evaluation, capacity building. And then sustainability, which is really to sustain the work and extend gains achieved through an alumni learning community. And that sustainability piece will include all of the organizations that have gone through our building evaluation capacity initiative. So in our first year, we'll already have almost 50 organizations in that. So really thinking about the implementation component. So the readiness component is a briefer, less intensive experience with 4 trainings spread across the year. But the implementation component is a 2-year cohort learning program that helps promising nonprofit organizations to amplify their impact on young people's lives and really the surrounding community. So participating organizations will improve their capacity to collect, use, and apply data for ongoing improvement and learning, really with that aim of delivering stronger results. So what kind of organizations are we hoping will apply? So we're looking for organizations that are serving youth, particularly youth residing in low-income communities in the area in the range of 9 to 24 years old. We hope that the organization has been in operation for at least 3 years and has a revenue of at least close to $750,000 with no cap. And really the why of that is that we want to make sure that organizations are large enough to participate, that this won't fully take over their work. And when we have trainings, we don't want to take a whole organization offline. Our cohort will be 15 organizations. It's a 2-year program. The 3rd year, you'll join the Learning Collaborative, which hopefully never ends. So when that 3rd year starts, that's when you'll start in that sustainability component. And at this point, we've funded that and supported it every year for organizations to be able to continue in. So what does that include? It includes consultation, group training, technical assistance, coaching, and participation in an online learning community where you'll have access to all of the resources, and we'll be developing videos and other ways to augment learning and also share with your organization. So this includes 4 to 5 group learning sessions per year. Those sessions will be hosted in Philadelphia and Camden. You'll have 6 to 8 days of individualized coaching spread across the first year, and 5 to 6 days of coaching spread across the 2nd year. And that coaching is at your site in your organization when it best works for you. This also includes an online learning community where I said you'll have access to all of the trainings and resources that we'll be sharing. We also really aim in this to foster a peer network. So these will all be organizations serving similar populations and similar communities. And so we really want organizations to be able to learn from each other. All right, so is this a good fit? And oh my goodness, how much time is this going to take? So we talked about some of these things that we want to have organizations that aren't just starting. We would want a leader of an organization and 2 to 3 staff should plan to participate. The executive director or president wouldn't have to participate in every training and meeting, but they need to be available for some of them. There are, as we said, 9 full-day group trainings across the 2 years, and there are additional on-site individual consultations and phone and video meetings. So really thinking about probably a day a month. Either coming to a training or having something happening at your site, except for the summer months where we know it's a little bit harder to do that. So the organization doesn't only need to serve young people, but there needs to be at least one program that's serving young people, children, youth, or families. And we'll really be looking for organizations that are serving youth with 1 or more risk factors. And I think in our region, that's pretty much a given, but we want to make sure that we're really working in that arena. We really want organizations that are committed to learning and open to rethinking elements of the program. So if an organization is using evidence-based programs or part of a national organization and there's really not much room for change, it's probably not a good fit, because this really is looking to understand how to modify programs. We also maybe thinking about it's not the best fit for a startup organization who's really trying to get the feet on the ground and going, and so we wouldn't want to be changing things right when things are launching. And in terms of size, we're really hoping that organizations serve at least 150 of youth per year. Obviously that could be a little less, but we don't want it to be serving 10 people per year, because we're really hoping that organizations are going to be able to collect enough data for us to teach some data analytics skills. So what's the timeline? So at this point, the implementation application is open. It is on Foundant, and so everyone on this call should have received instructions on how to access that. Applications are due on February 22nd by 5 p.m. Finalists will be announced in March, and this will be around up to 30 organizations. We'll then be working to schedule a site visit at those finalist organizations so that we can come and learn a little bit more about your program. And then we will announce the 15 organization cohort at the end of March. We plan to kick off in the beginning of April, and the first group trainings will be in May. Now, for organizations that apply and that are not selected, we will invite you to participate in the readiness trainings as a way to say, we'd still be happy and open to working together. And we hope that that will work for some of the organizations that are not selected. So the reality is that we will have more applications of organizations that are ready to participate than we will have spots for. And we hope to do this cohort again in 2 years if funding exists. All right, so here are some of the questions that we've already received that we wanted to share some responses to. So does my organization receive any money to participate? Well, not really. This really is a training and technical assistance grant. You will receive $1,000 each of the first 2 years to cover any travel costs to meetings, parking, mileage, going over the Benjamin Franklin Bridge. But the rest of it is really valued at the training and consultation. We have had organizations count that as money that comes into the organization, so we can certainly talk about what that's worth. Is there a cost for my organization to participate? No, this is fully funded by a collaborative of funders, so there's no cost for the organization. In terms of who can apply, the implementation cohort, the applications or the people who were invited to apply were developed by the group of funders supporting this initiative. So we had over 150 organizations that were recommended by funders, and those are the groups that were invited to apply. The readiness component, anyone can apply. In terms of where do I apply, so we are doing this through Foundit, which is the online grant management system. Some of you may already be familiar with that, using it with other funders. It's a pretty straightforward process, and we're happy to assist with that. Do I need to create an account for the online grant portal? Yes, you do. And again, it should be pretty straightforward. Will there, be an opportunity to apply for this initiative again? Well, we hope so. We are fully funded for the first 3 years, and we will do everything we can to continue funding past the first 3 years. Can current grantees of the funders apply for this initiative? Yes, that's who this is directed for. It's directed for all of the organizations that are supported by the funder of this collaborative. Who is the consultation and training team from the Consultation Center? The Consultation Center at Yale is part of the Division of Prevention and Community Research, and they have been our partner in this work really since 2009. And the team of faculty and senior evaluation consultants who have training in psychology, social work, public health, epidemiology, and really from the social sciences, thinking broadly about systems and organizations and program effectiveness. The Consultation Center has a rich history of working with all kinds of nonprofit and for-profit organizations and systems to really enhance evaluation capacity in working with them. Most of the individuals and all of the faculty involved also have rich research programs, so that's something that we will be hearing more about just because it may be of interest. Who reviews the application? So the application will be reviewed by the consultant team. The recommendations for who to participate is then brought to the funders, and typically the funders will agree with that, and that's who's invited to apply. The applications are never seen by the funders. It's only by the consultant team. What criteria are the applications judged against? Well, what we do is we look at the application, and we're really looking, one, for readiness. Is the organization ready to apply? Does the executive director, president, or CEO provide a letter that states that they are interested in participating and will support this initiative? Does the organization have a good fit in the way that we talked about? Have they been able to identify a specific program to focus on? Is there some baseline capacity for data collection and analysis? Are there a team of individuals that can participate? And this year, we're also have included some questions around diversity and equity and inclusion in our application process. And that's really because we want to make sure that we are including that as a priority within this work. And so we really want to have a better understanding of where organizations are coming from. So at that point, that concludes the questions that we've had. We do have the risepartnership.org, which has some additional information, and you can contact Ami and myself at the Rise Partnership at scattergoodfoundation.org. So what we'd like to do now is really open this up for questions. And, you know, we hope that you feel comfortable among your peers here to ask what's on your mind. So we will go ahead and take questions.
Your name's up there.
Hi, I have a quick question. So I just want to clarify that you can only focus on one youth-focused program, even if your agency serves multiple youth programs?
Great question. So what we do is that in the first year, we focus on one particular program as a way to really build skills and capacity for evaluation. But in the second year, we take that organizational wide and we talk about how do you expand to other programs.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Hi there. I just have a quick question. This is Annabelle Genovitz from Better Tomorrows. Who would you recommend in terms of staff to participate in the program besides the executive director or the CEO? Who do you think would benefit the most potentially?
So this has looked different depending on the organizational structure. If you have a continuous quality improvement or quality assurance or someone who does your data work, that's a great person to have included. We typically also have like the program manager or director of the program that you're focusing on participate. Now we have had development and communications staff participate as a way for them to better understand programs and data in their work. So it really depends on your organization and how you're structured and how many resources you have. Now, during our on-site meetings, you do have the ability to have more people to participate. So you might have a core team of a program manager and maybe a data person and the executive director, but then when the consultant comes to your site, you might have more people participate in those meetings, and that can even include program participants.
Thank you.
Sure. Any other questions?
Hello?
Yes.
Hello? Oh, hello. I'm Sandra Levini. I'm with the Support Center for Child Advocates. I didn't hear the first question, the response. I didn't hear your answer to the first question. It was she had asked how, you know, you said something like you select one program for the first year and then subsequent years.
Yes. So in subsequent years, you can take it more organizationally. So in
Oh,
the
I
first
see.
year, we'll talk about organizational issues and culture, but we'll focus on one program. So when you're developing your theory of change and logic model, you're really focused on one program. But in the second year, we really invite you to think about how do you build this kind of culture and capacity organization-wide.
I see. Okay. All right. Thank you so much.
Sure.
Hi, I have a question. My name is Catherine Zuck. I'm from the Philadelphia Lawyers for Social Equity. So I just wanted to ask in terms of like eligibility and who you're looking for. So we don't have a program that is specifically targeting youth, but youth are a big component of each of our programs. Would you say that that is still something that is eligible for this program?
Yes. I mean, sounds like you're structured a little bit differently, but yes.
Mm-hmm.
So we really want the end user to be benefiting youth.
Great, thank you.
Sure.
Hi, yes, I had a quick question about the 150 participants. are these individuals, the 150 students, do they have to be students that you work with year round? Or can it also accommodate, we have a youth program that serves the summer camp program. Do the students in our summer camp program qualify as students? And what is the minimum number of participants in your program to qualify?
Great questions. So really what we're saying is that you serve at least 150 youth across the year, but they don't have to be with you for a year. So that might be a summer camp, it might be a semester, it might be a 10-week class hosted in a school. We're just hoping that you're touching at least 150. You know, if it's 120, sure. We really, again, want to make sure that you have enough data and a large enough sample that you'll be able to do the kinds of things that we're talking about. So when we're talking about implementing a survey, analyzing a survey, we want to make sure that you'll have enough participants to do that.
Okay. May I ask another question, Sandra from the Support Center for Child Advocates? Yeah. The young people do not have to be present. Is that correct? At anything?
No, they don't.
Okay.
We do teach how do you engage your program participants as leaders.
Right.
Evaluation. Like they could lead a focus group, they can collect data, but they don't need to be present.
Okay.
We did have one additional question that I just remembered about board participation.
Oh, yeah.
Board members are invited to participate in the trainings or site visits. That's something we have had in the past. We don't require that because we feel that's really dependent on an organization and their relationship to their board. We have also gone to board meetings with the program staff to talk about what the program's doing. So we're very open to that, but we don't require that of organizations.
Okay.
I'm curious about the $750,000 budget minimum. If we are part of a national organization and the national's revenue is more than that, but the local budget is slightly less, what are your thoughts there?
Yeah, we think that can probably work. We really just want to make sure, you know, we've had organizations in the past want to participate that have 3 staff members, and do a training and have all 3 staff members come. That's really disruptive to a program's operation. So we just want to make sure that the organization is large enough to be able to really participate in this initiative. So we don't need it to be exactly that amount. If you have support from a national organization, or maybe you have 10 staff and some are part-time, as long as this isn't going to derail your program from functioning. That's our primary concern.
Great, thank you.
Are there any other questions? All right. Was there a question?
I have a question, actually. The video, this session rather, will be on the website. Is that the risepartnership.org website?
Yes, we'll post it
Okay.
next week, and then we'll post also a written app of our Q&A. Oh,
very good.
And we did have one other question that's come up. For organizations that have already participated in Becky or have participated in a similar evaluation capacity initiative, such as what Pew is hosting or William Penn, we have had organizations or United Ways join initiative. Those initiatives all focus on data and evaluation and have significant overlap. So we don't think that it makes a lot of sense to participate in multiple of the initiatives, but if there is some pressing reason why you feel like that makes sense, we do encourage you to reach out to us to talk about it. Organizations that have participated in Becky, which I don't think anyone on this call, but if you talk to your your friends, really what we're saying is that they're going to be joining the sustainability piece, and we'll be doing a much more robust offering in sustainability. So we will be able to continue to meet the needs of those organizations, but they don't need to reapply. That said, we will be opening up the readiness trainings to the Becky organizations that need a little bit of a refresher on some of the content, or say they have a new staff member they'd really like to join. So the readiness piece is sort of the beginning content and theory around the work and building organizational readiness, but the implementation component, we're really doing that work.
Mm-hmm.
All right, it looks like we have one question around the organization is in the process of implementing a new data management system. Is this a good complement to the work, or should one project precede the other? That's a great question. And please feel free to type the questions if you prefer. So what I would say is that depends. So implementing a new data management system is typically quite cumbersome on an organization and requires a lot of staff time. So if that is the case and the staff are working hard on getting that going, then it might make sense to wait. If that's in a very good place and almost done and the staff time is not significant, then it could complement the work. I mean, ideally, it would complement it, but it really comes down often to resources and capacity of the organization to take on multiple things. I will say that we've had organizations also try to participate that are going through strategic planning. And strategic planning, while very important, and we just finished ours here, really takes a lot of people offline and a lot of cognitive time. So, you know, I would just be really thoughtful about what else your organization is doing. And is it going to be something that you sort of resent because it's one more thing you have to go to and complete? Or is this really something that you're going to have the time to be able to participate and learn from? All right, let's have, all right. A few more written questions. So we serve over 150 youth, but through a few different programs that vary slightly. That could work. I need to know a little bit more information about that, but it sounds like that could work. All right, a question about being a multi-state organization and having a CEO that would be unlikely to participate. That's okay. We have had very large health systems participate. What we really need is access to a person that has authority to make decisions. And so if that is some kind of director more locally, that's okay. We really want the staff involved in the initiative to feel supported. And if they have some really great learnings and want to implement them, we want someone to be there to help make that decision. So I hear some typing, so I'll go ahead and wait. I'm also, as a psychologist, very good with silence. Okay. So I'll just wait a few more minutes in case anyone would like to type a question. So I will say that we're really excited about this. This is really building off the work that we've been doing in our Building Evaluation Capacity Initiative and joining learnings with the Ed McConnell Clark Foundation's Propel Next program. And we're just really grateful to have so many partners locally. supporting this. So I do want to say as a reminder to everyone that in addition to our foundation, this is being supported by United Way, as we said, Propel Next with Ed McConnell Clark, the Barra Foundation, Campbell Soup Foundation, the Nelson Foundation, Philadelphia Foundation, the Horner Foundation, and we just couldn't, and also I said the Nelson Foundation. So we just couldn't be happier. One of the things that we're also going to be doing as part of this program is taking our learnings and sharing them with the funders. And so we already have some really rich learnings from Becky around how do we better support funders and understanding the needs and strengths of the grantees. So we definitely are excited about that component. And I'd say all of the foundations participating are excited about that as well. We're also really excited to have this youth focus. We think we'll be able to go deeper into the program and talking about really great evidence-based programs and validated measures, the complexity of working with youth, which means you're usually working with at least 2 other systems, whether that be the education system, the child welfare system, and a family system. So by having that focus, we'll be able to go deeper. That doesn't mean that everyone will be in the same sector. So hopefully we will have people across the health, behavioral health, education, out of school time, arts and culture, sports and recreation. And sounds like we might also have the legal system, which is fantastic. So we really think there's rich learnings when we have cross-sector participation, but we will have that joint youth focus. So we're really excited about that. And some people have asked us, well, what will we do with these learnings in terms of funders beyond philanthropy? And we're really open to that. You know, if we feel like this group is able to come up with common metrics and recommendations for the city or other funders on what are good measures or good outcomes to be tracking, or how to access school data, we're really open to talking about how do we support that through our consultant team. So the great thing about this is you're not an individual organization participating, you really are part of a group, and the group will be experiencing similar challenges and successes. And so our goal is really to support the group in being successful in addition to the organizations. All right, so unless is there any last final question? Okay, well, I want to thank all of you for joining us so promptly. We really oh, sorry, one more question. Do the individual coaching sessions happen one day at a time or in chunks? So those happen at different periods throughout the 2 years. So the coaching sessions, each organization will have their own identified consultant for the length of their participation. So the trainings will be provided by a combination of members of the team, but you'll have your own dedicated consultant to work with you for the 2 years. That consultant will work with the organization to determine the best time to check in. So some organizations might say, you know what, let's just do a phone or a video conference if you have that technology available, and we'll check in that way. But there will be some of the in-person work to make sure that the consultant has a chance to go to your organization, to meet with you there, to really understand the context in which you're working in your community, but also really to get hands-on. You know, that might entail looking at a database, looking at a survey, helping think through some qualitative data coding. So that time will really be scheduled depending. We typically do them in 2 and up to 3 hour meetings. After that, I think everyone is tired of data, even data people. So those sessions, I would plan on them being about 2 hours. Consultants have also co-facilitated focus groups and other data collection activities if that's something you need support with. All right, well, these have been just terrific questions. I really appreciate, again, your interest in this. We've had some applications that have already been started through Foundant, which is really exciting. We are really excited to do this. This has been a long time dream to really expand this program, and we're really excited that Ami just started with us, coming from Greenlight. She's been a tremendous support. She's already greatly improved my ability to have visually appealing PowerPoints. So that benefits everyone. So I really look forward to getting to know everyone. I see some familiar faces and names on this, which is great. So I look forward to getting to know everyone and to reading your applications. And please do reach out to us again through email if you have any additional questions after this webinar. So again, thank you, and I hope everyone stays dry and at least a little bit warmer today. All right, goodbye.